Senators expressing themselves on what happened yesterday, where the mace in the Senate was taken away. Now, a lawyer, Olayinka Ola-Daniels, joins me now in the studio to discuss this. Olayinka, good afternoon. Nice to see you.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
And I also have with me a public affairs analyst, Alistair Soyode, also joining me on phone. Alistair, good. It's nice to have you join us now.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you guys.
All right, nice. Let me start with you, Olayinka. What happened yesterday happened before, in the early days of democracy in Nigeria, where we just transited from the military rule in days of Okadigbo and all of that. Now, some people will say, well, these are just elements or factors or characteristics of a nascent democracy. It is usual to happen until we get it right. What do you say?
Well, it is sad and it's pathetic that we are here where we are today. When a society refuses to stand for something, this is what happened to such society. All these meanings started even with the State House of Assembly in different states in this same country. What happened? Nobody said anything. We left it and we just felt, oh, it's one of those things. Today, it has happened to us. Not just to the senators, not just to the National Assembly. This is to all of us, to you, to myself, to every Nigerian, to in the institution called democracy, to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is a slap to all of us. So what are we going to do about it? The question I want to ask, how did these people gain access to these nationals, to these red chambers? No security out there. They walked in. They were not senators. What were they doing inside the red chambers? They came in, and not all of them, all the senators were looking. They grabbed the menace and they left. They came in through the gates with their car. They grabbed the menace, the mace, and they went back to the car and they drove out.
And there's a gate, and they drove past the gate.
They drove past the gate, and you don't tell me that there are no security men around. I mean, all the National Assembly complex. So what happened? Who is not telling us something? Now, we are blaming, we allege that Senator Omagege brought them in. Well, he has denied. I will tell the security agency to do their work. They should conduct their own investigation. Let us know who, whether it was the one that brought them in, because we can't just, you don't find someone guilty without even doing your So we can't condemn him yet. Okay. But if that happened, he's a lawyer. He knows the consequence.
All right. They say it's treasonable, but we'll look at that. Let me bring in Alistair Soyode here. Alistair, what some persons have said between yesterday, where we heard comments from people, they're saying that this is not just about those hoodlums who came in yesterday, that there's a grand agenda somewhere even beyond that is bigger than either Senator Omagege or even the thugs that came in yesterday.
Oh, thank you very much for having me. Based on the opinion and based on my research and talking to a lot of people, personally, I don't want to call these people thugs because I don't think they are thugs. Thugs will never have received or get the permission or approval to enter the National Assembly in Nigeria or anywhere in the world. So I think the most important thing is people not to call them actually thugs. Maybe their behavior become thuggery, but they're not thugs. That's my opinion. The second thing is, as identified by some of your commentators, is that these people drove into the National Assembly. Now, there is a likelihood that the car they drove in were registered car that belonged to members of the National Assembly. So, which means the security at the gate already know and identify those cars. And so, if they allow them to drive in as fast as they could, allow them to drive out, well, you definitely have to ask the security personnel over there why and how come. And everybody know that anybody that goes to the National Assembly actually do recognize that you don't get entry. You're not allowed to enter immediately. You get there. They have to search you. They have to check who you are, that you have appropriate documentation or invitation to get in. So surely enough, these guys have approval, working with somebody or their SA, PAs to somebody in the National Assembly, which allow them to have full access into that place. The second thing is, from the video evidence that has been seen which I don't believe has been doctored, is that these people walk in with somebody into that inner chamber. One thing again from the international community, because when something happens of this nature, no matter how small, when it goes social, then the whole world is watching what took place in Nigeria yesterday. It is a sad situation. Everybody now knows that more or less there's no security in Nigeria, or the security system needs to be enhanced, need to be strengthened. They need to be given resources, but not just because this event took place in the National Assembly, but from what people have been reading, watching online, socially, in the news, there is quite a lot of things that people really need to wake up and begin to smell the coffee.
All right, you said those boys or those young men or the youths that went to the National Assembly to take the maize were not thugs, or you shouldn't call them thugs. What should Nigerians call them with the way they went in there, even attacking sergeant at arms and the others? What should they be called? Robbers or what?
Well, their behavior definitely looks, yeah, you can classify their behavior as thuggery. But the fact of the matter is still that I do not think they are thugs. Let's be honest. Thugs are people who more or less just sit idle 24 hours a day, maybe behaving in a way that is with a tendency of criminality. But these people, surely enough, they have cars. The cars were driven. The cars have plate numbers. And these people look dressed up. And surely enough, they were acting on behalf of somebody who have full information, who really want to disrupt the system, who really want to bring democracy to a questionable point. And somehow they have achieved that. Okay. Now, the question is, after the National Assembly, where else can something of this nature happen? Just one more place in the country.
All right, I'll come back to you. Let me come to Olayinka here. Now, the question of legitimacy arises here. After the maize was taken, which is a symbol of authority, they took it away and then it was replaced. Now, when the main maize has been taken away, can maces be replaced at will? What happens to the legitimacy of what discussions? How binding are the resolutions made at that time before it was returned earlier today?
You see, this means being there during plenary or during sittings or form of authority and all that. These are laws from the English government. These are laws we inherited from the colonial chairmen. And you see, most of them had even reviewed some of these laws. But we don't even understand why they do what they do. And we picked everything that they gave us. You see, and I'm yet to see where it is said that, yes, the maize must be there for them, for whatever that is discussed on the floor of the house to be grounded or to be binding or to be resolute. I've not seen anywhere written. So whether
maybe in the standing order,
whether the maize is there or not, should not stop and should not disqualify whatever decision or whatever resolution is made at the floor of the house.
On the ideal. Is that what you're saying?
Not just ideal. Okay. Like I said, I'm still looking for the law that says the maize seriously must be there. You see, most of these things are concepts that you just believe, okay, this is how it should be done, or this is how it's being done.
Every house of assembly, every legislative house, whether in Nigeria or anywhere in the world, they all have maces, and that's a symbol of authority.
I just said that.
Exactly.
They pick it, and they don't even know what they are doing. Having said that, there's a replacement. They believe in it. They have an extra, and they brought it out to go on. I don't think
so. Whatever is discussed after the first mace was taken is legitimate.
At least.
Okay.
Well, according to them, there's a mace right now. Whether it was the old one or the old one has been found and restored. Well, even we are even talking about the replacement. Let's even assume that the old one is not yet been found. We know it's been found, but let's assume, let's take it that it's not been found, and we have a replacement. The work goes on. There's a replacement of maize, which is important to them, in quotes. And, I mean, everything they have to do should go well.
Okay. Alistair, let me come to you here before we round off this discussion. Now, a lot of the people have said the taking or the attempt to steal the maize of the National Assembly or even House of Assembly is treasonable. And some arrests have been made. Well, we know that this is not the first time maces are being taken or manhandled or stolen or whatever it is. Now, what should Nigerians expect this time around to show that Nigeria, our democracy, is working when it comes to punishing those who are involved?
Well, the fact is, I think the mace was stolen, and they found the people who stole the mace. They forcefully stole the mace. That is a fact, because they're not members of the National Assembly. Maybe they work directly with somebody in the National Assembly, but they are not workers in the National Assembly, so they took the mace. The second point is, without any delay, we do not need to tell the police or the law enforcement officers to do their job. It is natural for them to do their job. What now we need to request is that their investigation is immediately made known to the Nigerian people, and the culprit are immediately dealt with according to the law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is as simple as that. Allowing this case to continue for more than a week will be detrimental to the Nigerian politics, will be detrimental to the Nigerian people, and it will not give anybody as much assurance that we want our electorate to understand and to follow. Now, surely enough, every Nigerian who listened to the news, followed the news, knows what took place yesterday in Nigeria. And the international community as well are watching the same thing. Now, we need to assure not the international community, we need to assure our Nigerian people. Already people are crying for a lot of crime taking place in the country. And now to come to the mother of all, the National Assembly, where all our members are, who is supposed to make law and order for the country, and this thing to happen by a non-member, but somebody from outside, can show to Nigerian people that indeed, even they themselves on the public road, on the street, they are not too sure how safe they are if this thing can happen in Nigeria. So the National Assembly needs to do the best. The most important thing for them is to deal with this case immediately without any delay.
All right, Alistair Soyode, thank you very much for joining us on Skype from London. And we also spoke with Olayinka Ola-Daniels, a lawyer in the studio. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.